Hi, I'm Rob. I'm here with you shortly after midnight on November 1st, the Sunday that starts our full-time lease at the 5 South Event Center in Callaway. This is the first time in our church's history that we have had a full-time lease where both our worship facility and our meeting place and offices could be in the same location. We've got a 1-year lease, and I'm excited and charged up, so much so that I've got visions going through my head of what this year is going to look like, and I can't sleep. So I'm here with you making this video in the hopes that sharing this information with you right now will make it so that I can go to sleep and we can go execute this vision. So we got 365 days. It's a 1-year lease. We know at the end of this lease, we're going to have to move out of the building. Maybe we can rent it on Sundays, but we're going to have to find a new home in 1 year. So we've got 1 year to make a difference, 365 days to grow the body of Christ. We need to start small, but we have to think big. We need to make disciples. We've already been doing that with our theology seminars, our Bible studies, our life groups, and our sermons with devotionals, and we need to keep doing that. That biblical foundation of this church is crucial going forward, and we have to make sure that we keep doing those things. But at the same time that we're doing those, we need to take the next step in our church. We need to connect communities, not the community inside of our church. That's not what that mission statement means. It means the community out there, all the people that aren't in church today because they either don't believe or they don't have a church. We want them to come here and join us so that they can know Christ. How are we going to do that? We're going to invite friends to church. We're going to invite coworkers to church. We're going to invite people. We'll talk a little bit more of that in a minute. What are we going to invite them to? Well, in addition to church, we need to do praise nights. I've got lots of ideas for praise nights, and Andrew might be, kind of on edge right now as to what I'm talking about, but I think he's going to be excited for it too. We need to do Christmas in Callaway. What about praise into the 80s and 90s? Maybe a youth rally this year. We've got the facility for it right now. We could do Freedom Fest over the summer, praising our God. And then finally, before we round out the year and we have to go to a different location, we need to celebrate the victory. We need to celebrate the victory God has given us through this year. We need to do You've Been Blessed. It's an idea that I had almost 10 years ago when we were living here in Maryland. You've heard of You've Been Booed, maybe those bags that people drop on your front porch around Halloween. Maybe they didn't do it as much this year, but maybe we can do it, and it's called You've Been Blessed. I've already got a poem for it. I've got materials for it that we can bring out there, and we can put church materials in there to indirectly invite people to church, people that we may not even know, while also dropping them gift bags on their doorstep to tell them approaching Christmas time that they've been blessed. And I'm happy to hear any other ideas the rest of you have for how we can connect our communities in the local area. Finally, and most importantly, we've got 365 days to grow the body of Christ. And how are we going to do that? I think our church needs to have a goal of 50 salvations this year. And I know that seems like a huge number for a church that really hasn't seen that many in recent history. But that's one for every week of this lease after I think that we're going to launch this campaign here on the 15th of November. So that's one for every one of those 50 remaining weeks of the 53-week lease. Each immediate family needs to invite and bring 4 local guest family units. And why do I say family units? Because a family is going to count as 1 guest, and a single person counts as 1 guest. So I need you to make 4 invitations that are successful. You'll probably have to give out more than 4 invitations in order to get 4 successful ones. But if each family gets 4 successful invitations, 1 per quarter, we can grow the body of Christ in our church. Now, who should we invite? Should we invite people from the church down the street? Yeah, our goal is not to poach people from the other churches. Our goal is to grow the bigger body of Christ, not just Bridgeway. So we want at least 2 of those guests to be non-believers. So maybe they had a relationship before, but they do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ right now. We want that 2 of them, at least half of your guests, to be non-believers. Then we want the other 2 to be unchurched. So we want you to get those people in. These are targets. Don't come to me negotiating for what counts and what doesn't. These are targets for what we're really trying to do. But it's something that we can measure. We can measure in our individual families, and we can certainly measure. And I think if we're doing this and we're bringing those people in, God's going to deliver us those 50 salvations, the 1 salvation per week. Now, we want the body of Christ to grow, not just the Bridgeway body. We need to also make readily available a clear discipleship journey for our new believers to get them out of the foyer and into the living room, that foyer where they first come in. They're just now having that conversation with God, and we want to bring them into the living room. We want to bring them into the family quickly and teach them all the things about the faith that they need to know to be a successful Christian. Now, some of you are thinking, Rob, you're off your rocker. This is scary. I don't think any of us are going to be capable of having each family bring 4 guests. I don't think we're going to get to 50 salvations. I'm telling you, we need to have faith. So join me on this journey, and I think it's going to be a fun year.